Hello, soul family.
Hello, everyone.
So, we are going to dive into spiritual warfare today, the age old battle between the light and the dark, and how this period is really the end game. It's going to be a short but potent video, and these are the topics we are going to cover. We're going to talk about what are entities really, how did they come to be, what plane do they reside in, what is their goal, why do we even have entities, what do entities look like, what is a psychic attack, how do entities negatively affect you, what can you do if you are under psychic attack, how do you even know if you are under psychic attack, and we'll see where else it goes. And at the end, once we do all this, we have so many updates to share with you. So we feel like it's going to be a short, potent video, and we cannot wait to get started with this very important topic. And it seems like it's truly coming in from all directions. We posted on our Telegram chat. By the way, please look at our bio below, because we've linked our Instagram, our Telegram. There's like a lot of potent information we keep posting on our Instagram, which is Eldora Seman, Facebook, as well as what was the other one?
Instagram, Telegram, Facebook.
Yeah, so far those three. So do check out all the other channels, because we're always posting new material on all these platforms. We're not just on YouTube. And recently I posted a comment about what people want to hear about us from, and there was 3 comments about spiritual psychic attack, entities at home, dark entities, and even at our New Earth Mystery School, there was 3 people who we literally saw were under psychic attack.
Yeah.
Last night, Sistara was under psychic attack. So we'll get into all of that. But why don't we start off with what are entities?
Yeah, so this is a very hot topic right now. And the reason it's coming up is because we're literally at the end game right now in this age-old battle between the dark and the light. And to explain entities, we have to go back into how the Elohim and the dark and everything separated from source, and many beings went against the will of source and wanted to create their own. They wanted to own this universe, and they cut themselves off from source. And what that led to is that they were no longer able to feed directly off source energy. And we won't go into the details because we've talked about this in a lot of detail, and we recommend you to watch our Metatronic reversals, and what was that called?
It was a few videos ago, and it was Metatronic something, where we literally shared the entire story of how source, this beautiful angelic pure divine frequency, broke off into the dark. And we highly recommend you go
so
watch
that'll
that
give
video.
you a full deep perspective of how this all war between the light and the dark started. But what happened is currently the situation is that for billions of years, our current universe, this is a free will universe. However, it is a universe where there's dark elements and there's light elements. And the dark elements are the ones who go against source, and they cut themselves off from source, which means they want to control others. They want to break the laws of free will and feed off other people's energy rather than just live in harmony and peace with the whole universe and abide by the laws. And when we abide by the laws, there's no problem. There's enough abundance in this universe for everyone, which is how most good-hearted people live. However, these entities, because of war and corruption and years of genetic degradation, they forgot their true connection into source, and they went into such a deep level of soul fear that they pretty much broke their food supply from source. Like source is prime creator, source is God, source is the creator of all that is, and source provides equally for every living being, every sentient being in this universe. So source is unconditional love. Source does not discriminate even when some entities go against the laws. Source still wants to provide, but once you make the decision that you want to break the laws, your decision breaks you from being able to feed off that unlimited supply of energy. So the only way they can now exist or survive is by extracting energy from other beings. So this is how entities came to be, because there's higher level, higher dimensional beings that cut themselves off from source, and now they had to strategize or come up with a plan that allows them to feed off lower dimensional beings or of people like us, humanity, and other races that are still in this universe. And because we have our connection to source, they are able to extract that source energy from us and feed it from us. But in order to do that, they have to like play a trick on us and kind of like trick us to give away our own free will so that we can feed them.
Yes, and we can even give you a direct example which is so tangible in your households. So think about a time when you are in an argument with your partner. You're in an argument, you're really bickering, you're shouting at each other, you're really going at it. What happens is most human beings, they go around these fights and these drama and gossip and anger and resentment and narcissistic behavior without even knowing the impact that it's having on their lives. So let me give you an example. Let's say there's two people in a heated argument. What is the higher way of being? What is the galactic way of being? How do galactic civilizations, like all these light beings in higher realms, how do they, it's only peace. It's only joy. There's no polarity. There's no good and bad. There's no struggle. There's no war. Why do we come to Earth? To experience duality. And I'll get into that in a minute. So let's say two people are fighting. What we teach in psychic protection is that when somebody comes at you with anger, with a low vibrational frequency as anger, that is not a match to a high vibrational frequency such as love, for example, unconditional love, this lower vibrational frequency becomes a portal, a gateway into the dark realms. So let me explain. When two people are fighting, most of us, when somebody comes and fights with us, we're just taught, or we're in the habit of fighting back, arguing back. You said this, and then name calling and swearing and all of that. This is a hub. This is a breeding ground for psychic entities, for dark entities.
Just how flies feed off rotten food, entities feed off our rotten emotions.
Yes, I love that. And so what happens is that, as Siman was explaining, negative entities, so dark entities, are synthetic beings. They're not like you and me. They are synthetic beings that these dark lords created to feed off, to basically harvest energy, dark energy, which we call loosh energy, Loosh energy. When people fight, when there's war, when there's struggle, when there's child sacrifice, when they're, ritual harvesting, all of these negative satanic forces that we've been experiencing and seeing on Earth, when all of this goes on, the greater the suffering, the more the loosh energy that is generated for these dark lords. So just like you and I can breathe in prana, we can breathe in oxygen, we can breathe in light, because we are connected to Prime Creator, these dark entities do not have that privilege because they have chosen to cut themselves off from God, from Source. So now what they do is they are always looking in our third dimensional reality in Earth. So these beings, these entities are actually in 4D. They're 4D astral beings. They're never going to make it to 5D because they're not a vibrational match to the fifth dimension. So what these entities do is they're always looking, saying, where can I latch on to someone that is in anger, that is in insecurity, that is in envy and jealousy, that is in, what are some of the other things? That is in extreme blame, like he did this, she did this. Like
revenge energy, fighting, combat, anger, all of these, resentment, any negative emotion. Even if you feel guilt and fear in your heart, entities can easily latch onto that. So it's important to understand right now that these entities are basically hunting, or they're always, you know how the fly example is so apt in this? Flies are always looking for food, right? So you can think of Earth as being surrounded by these fourth dimensional invisible beings. These are astral beings, but they're always hovering around and they're scanning the whole field to see where there's war. If there's the country with war, that's like a buffet for them. They'll like latch onto all the pain and misery there and suck the energy out of people who are suffering. But even if in a normal household, if you live in a peaceful country like Canada or the United States, there's so much argument, there's so much tension, there's so much family drama and all of that. Even that becomes a breeding ground for these entities, because what they really do is they can instigate arguments. So one thing to watch out for is that if you're constantly keeping yourself, you know how we say your vibe attracts your tribe? So your vibe also attracts entities. So if you're constantly keeping yourself in a low vibration, then you become a target. And this is not to go into guilt or blame or shame about yourself. Just realize this like a scientist. So take your notebook and say, oh, I get it. Now I'm onto this. Now I know what I need to do. So what do you need to do? You need to always keep your vibration high. And that's what we teach in all of our videos. So when you know that you're being pushed, your buttons are being triggered by extra dimensional forces that want to feed off your negative energy, they're also able to manipulate you. They're also able to enter your nervous system and reside there. They're actually able to, when you're in an angry state, your energy field is shrunk. It's like in a normal human being, like we're constantly doing light work, so our auric field is expanded and it's creating a barrier. It's creating like a shield around us, and there's so much light around us that entities are repelled by light. But let's say if I was constantly angry all the time, what would happen is my auric field would shrink
and also have tears in it
and have holes in it and gaps in it. And that's what creates these entry points for these entities. So once we become aware of that, we have to realize that once we are in a state of negativity, anger, blame, resentment, judgment, all of these things, it means like your energy is becoming like a crushed little crumpled paper, and it's like kind of like here, it's like a little bit there, but it's not all over in a uniform protective field around you like it's supposed to be. So that basically the other parts of your body literally are open spaces. They're like feeding grounds.
Your organs, your tissue,
so they can
everything.
be taken over. Your tissues can be taken over. Like, we're specialists in entity removal, and we've been doing this for years. And what we see in many clients is that there's entities in their arms, there are entities in the back of their head. Any place where the light is not existing, the entities can take over that part of your body. And what they do is they take over your nervous system in a way that they can control your responses. So you know how negative people get triggered very easily? It's because these entities are literally like in their control station, and anytime there's an argument, they can say, okay, now you're going to respond like this.
Yes.
And you think it gives you a kind of a pleasure.
It's like a whisper in your ear, but
Yeah.
it's not the whisper of your angel. It's the whisper of the entity, because now they're in you.
Yeah.
Because you've become a vibrational match to them. So they're waiting. And just at the right time, they're like, go. How dare she? Say something back. So they'll instigate
Exactly.
you. But it's very important to know that entities are only a match to you if you are a vibrational match to them. Now, there's another thing. Siman said, don't feel bad about it. And I want to touch on this for a second. Most people feel like ashamed, like, oh my God, I have entities. Trust me, every single one of you watching at some level probably has entities. And it's not something to be afraid of. So 10 years ago or 9 years ago, 8 years ago, when I had my awakening, I don't even remember when it was, about 7 years ago, I would say, I was still very early into my awakening. And when I first heard entity, I'm like, what? I have an entity? And trust me, guys, the journey never ends. Meaning, until you ascend and become a full-fledged ascended master, at some level, you are a vibrational match to an entity for some reason. Initially, for those of you who are on your initial spiritual and awakening path, you may have several entities because you've been living your life very unconsciously. You've been living your life not knowing that it's not good to live in self-doubt and self-judgment, or feed off drama or gossip or vengeance and hate and anger and envy and all of that. But and if you look at the emotional scale, you can even Google it, just look for the emotional scale. Like, you'll see love, peace, harmony. They're all high vibrational emotions of the angelic realm. But then the other extreme is lust and hate and jealousy and all of that. So it's very obvious, are you vibrating here or are you vibrating here? Now, there's one other thing I want to also mention. These entities are actually doing us a huge favor.
That's a very good point.
Huge favor. You know why? Do you know why Prime Creator allowed this mega experiment to continue until now? Because we are, basically, why are we here on Earth? Like, what is the main purpose of us coming to Earth? We're not here to just come here and do our 9 to 5 job and then leave. We are here for one reason and one reason alone. Well, maybe two. The first and foremost reason that we as a soul come to earth is to evolve as a soul. Most people get lost with Earth's drama, taxes, bank loans, building a house with a picket fence, the dream marriage with a diamond ring. That is the matrix. The matrix is designed to keep you so distracted on all things that make no sense to your soul, because your soul evolution has nothing to do with money and riches and the white picket fence dream life, none of that. Your soul is here, it's pre-coded. Before you even come, you have a meeting with your spirit guides. And you have a meeting and say, okay, I want to go back to earth. And let's say you're picked. There's millions of souls waiting to be.
There's actually billions of souls waiting to come to earth.
Right. And so let's say you're picked to come to earth. Once you're picked, it's like hitting the jackpot, literally, because earth is one of in fact, it is
the toughest school.
And it is the most desirable school. So if you're on earth, it means like your gratitude levels have to be very high, because there's billions of people that could have been chosen, but you were chosen. So before you even come, you sit down with your spirit guides and you say, all right, what are the major soul lessons I want to go and experience in this lifetime? One of you may say, in the last lifetime or 5 lifetimes ago, I murdered somebody. So I want to go back and experience what it's like to be abused or raped or murdered by someone else. From your vantage point on earth right now, of course, it's like, why in the world would I possibly choose to be murdered or raped? Because as a soul, as a human, you're here wanting to be rich and famous and happy and in love and all of that. But as a soul, your only desire is to evolve and expand and experience everything. And why is that? Because you are source. And what is source? What is source? Why are you source? Because source has broken itself off into millions and millions and millions of its own fractals to experience all that there is. And so as your soul, so basically what it means is that every single one of us is from the same soup of God. We're from the same soup of consciousness. And we come here to experience all that is. So don't feel embarrassed or bad that you have entities. These entities are here to do you the biggest favor before the great solar flash happens. Why? Because once the great solar flash happens, which is a 15th, it comes from the 15th dimension. We talk about all this in our Metatronic video. The solar flash is a pulse that is sent from the 15th dimension that comes into the entire, like it basically comes in and it destroys, it completely nukes everything that is negatively polarized. So why is this experiment being allowed until the solar flash? Because it is only because of these dark entities, and it's only because of this polarity that you are even able to see your blind spots. You're able to see, oh my God, I'm still in insecurity, I'm still in greed, I'm still in anger. Because if there was none of that, if it was all positively polarized, your soul would have no evolution. So have a sense of reverence, never name call dark entities or never go into resentment or hate or blame even for them. I know I'm saying something very profound, like very hard for many of you to swallow, but have a sense of reverence for the fact that even the dark entities are here to teach you and help you ascend.
Exactly. These entities are our biggest teachers, and like Eldora mentioned, never go into anger or attack mode, because you can't fight fire with fire.
Yes.
You have to, the only way you can get out of entity attack or be invisible to entities is by being loving awareness. And this is a download that our guides gave us recently, and we practice this all the time. So you can just close your eyes and feel into these words. Just take a deep breath and connect with your heart. And say the affirmation, I am loving awareness.
I am loving awareness.
I am loving awareness.
I am loving awareness.
So you see the vibration of this when you are constantly repeating this mantra, but not just repeating it like you're saying it in your head, repeating it as if you are embodying it in every moment. So as a shaman, as an entity removal expert, one of the basic premises that we follow is to treat every single being with respect. Because if we match their, if I see an entity in someone, in one of my clients, and I say, well, you're not supposed to be here, and I'm gonna like do you justice, and you're gonna go to hell, and those kind of vibes, then I'm lowering my vibration.
And then you lose
That's
your
very
protection.
Important. Exactly. Then you become an open target for entities. But the way we do it is we say, we'll go more into the entity removal process later, but we just become loving awareness and we hold space for them. And when I've seen tons of entities, I saw one yesterday. I've seen tons of entities in my lifetime. And when I see an entity, I actually look at its soul and I just see a scared little child. These are just scared little beings that are acting like monsters. They're little babies who are so afraid because they cannot even comprehend being the light. When they see a light priest or someone very powerful, they shudder. So you, instead of throwing anger at them, have compassion for them and realize that you are more powerful. It's just like this little 2-year-old acting like a 12-foot monster, but it's just a little being who's so afraid. When you see the entity for what he or she or it is, you'll realize it's just a frail little creature looking for love.
Yes.
And what we do is we say, we address the entity, you ask its name, you give it respect, and you say, you know what, I'm going to give you a chance to go back to the source light. Would you like that? I promise you no harm will come to you.
And I promise you that Archangel Michael will himself, like the collective of Archangel Michael, will come down, descend here, and themselves take you back. And usually the dark entities don't believe us. They're like, they don't believe us. They're like, no.
They believe you if you're sincere, though.
But they don't initially believe you. Initially, what I've seen in every time we've given, it's not the first time that they say, oh gosh, yeah, sure, let's go home. But it's more like, that's too good to be true. But you have to then assure them. You have to say, look, we've created a portal for you. We've created a window back home for you. Archangel Michael is going to take you home.
Yeah.
And then, this is the important part. Even dark entities are given the option to go back to the light.
Yeah.
It's always their own option.
Yeah. And also, we don't have to be completely compliant with them either.
Right.
We give them 2 or 3 very loving suggestions. But at the end of the day, once you spot an entity, the universal law is that they have to be removed.
They have to
They
leave.
don't have a choice. So once you give them a few compassionate options and they're still being stubborn, then you simply say, Archangel Michael, I've done all I can. Please accompany this entity to the light. And you can call upon High Priest Melchizedek. But this is not just a verbal command. It's not that simple. There's a few techniques that we are going to teach you towards the end that actually remove the entities from your chakras. And we're also going to do an in-depth workshop sometime in January or February or next year.
I'm
We
thinking
still haven't
January.
decided the date.
Yes.
In our New Earth Mystery School, because this is becoming such a hot topic and there's so much entity attack right now that we want to
Yes.
not just make a YouTube video that's like scratching the surface, but actually give you concrete tips, techniques, and advice on how to remove entities from your chakras, how to cleanse your aura,
From your spine.
how to shield yourself, what to do in a situation when you're constantly in an argument kind of situation or being faced with negative people around you, how you protect yourself from their negativity.
How you protect your aura, how you protect your light body.
And even protect your home.
Because you know, guys, when you're in a fight, what most of you don't remember, even when you're fighting with your own spouse or your child or there's negativity, what you don't realize is when you look at it from a psychic or from an energy point of view, it literally feels like daggers being shoved into your aura, like dagger, 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 dagger. And most people don't know this. So they go about living their lives with so many daggers sticking all over, literally. I can tell you this with my sincere, unconditional love, that many of you are walking around with these daggers draining you, which is why we also taught a cord cutting course. We did a very powerful cord cutting course with Archangel Michael, where we taught cord cutting in great detail and actually facilitated a full-fledged cord cutting ritual. It's actually on our website, eldoraandsiman.love. It's all going to be in the captions below, in the description below. And the feedback that we got hundreds, if not, like we got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. And people are like, we felt so light. And this is, these cords, everything is connecting you. So what is a cord? Cords are negative energy strands, because what you're looking at is just the physical body. What you're not looking at is the energetic body. The energetic body, you're walking around with a strand going to your narcissistic mother, a strand going to your ex-best friend who stabbed you in the back. These strands are going to your boyfriend from 20 years ago. The first one that you even had sex with usually is the case. Where 20 years ago, they've left your life, but this strand is still making your light leak into them. And you have no idea about all of this. So entities, this is a big topic, but really to remember the best defense that you have against entities. And again, it's also important to remember entities, look at them as silly. I'm getting this image. Mischievous, that's the word. Mischievous beings. They're not like dark overlords that are going to come.
They're usually just harmless troublemakers that want to feed off energy and want to manipulate you, and they just have fun with you. And that brings us to the next topic.
Tell them also about Sistara's, what happened yesterday.
Oh, yes. So Sistara,
our soul daughter.
Our soul daughter, Sistara, they live in their own Airbnb like 15 minutes away in Croatia here.
And they traveled the world with us.
Yeah. So this is the first time I've seen an entity attack in one of the 3 children that are with us. We call them children lovingly. They're like adults pretty much, and they work for the Office of Christ, and they're like fucking rock stars. So big shout out to all 3 of you children. But one of our children came under psychic attack. And it started off with like, it sounded like an ear infection. She was complaining about pain in the ear and throat, and it seemed like maybe it's a flu or a sinus infection. But then it became worse and worse and worse. And I was not fully tuned in to how bad it was. But at like 10 p.m., I just happened to open my phone and I just see a text.
Last night.
And Sistara was messaging us saying, the pain is so unbearable. I feel like I can't handle it anymore. And could you please give me a healing? And she's usually like very reserved with us still. The fact that she asked for healing was like, okay, this is serious.
Exactly.
So initially, all my shaman feathers came online, and I told her to lie down, and I said,
and we did this remote, of course.
Yeah, from my home. And I made her lie down in her home, and I just opened up her picture on my phone. So opening up the picture of someone you're giving a healing to creates a direct connection with them. So the healing is a lot more focused. And I opened her picture and I brought out all my shaman tools, all the wands, all the various entity removal tools. And I started scanning her whole light body. And I realized that this is not just a sinus infection. There was actually it would look like a 6-inch long centipede being crawling in her ear. And this is all shown in the psychic vision. And it's like your astral body is visible in the psychic vision when you are open and aware. And so I did all the things, all the protocols that we usually follow to remove those entities. And then I saw another moth-like entity. And Sistara's also, we were seeing her lessons come up about opening up her throat chakra. But last night, I really got to see why her throat chakra was so severely blocked. Because there was like this moth-like entity. And I haven't even told her yet. She's probably seeing this for the first time. There was a moth-like entity that looked like this, and it had covered her whole mouth. Like it had zipped her mouth closed. And its lower abdomen was lodged in her throat, like till here. So it was like pretty serious.
But again, when we say serious, it's because I just don't want them to get scared.
Yeah. No, I mean, it was serious because like when these kind of blockages occur, they can be easily removed with the right kind of practitioner. But at the same time, if you're not aware of them, they can like derail your whole life path. Because if you go around your whole life not knowing that this is like blocking your throat, and you're not able to communicate properly, it can have repercussions.
And guys, just to remind you, so you don't go into fear, this is very important because fear is a very low vibration. So we're talking very candidly with you guys because you are students of the Ascension. We don't like to sugarcoat these words, but if there was something to worry about, we would tell you.
Yeah.
You don't have anything to worry about. So let's say Sistara did not have Siman. Let's say she had this ear infection and she didn't even know about this moth-like being entity. How do most people survive without a shaman or without practical tips and tools or without knowing? We're going to teach all of this. We've taught a lot in depth in our Psychic Protection Masterclass, which is, we're going to do a new version now. It's kind of like outdated because it was a few years ago. So we're actually going to do a new Psychic Protection Masterclass with some new channeled guidance and tips that we received in our New Earth New Earth Mystery School. You can check that out as well on Eldora and Siman.love. We have gold memberships and silver memberships, and every single month we meet with our students twice a month. Silver is once, gold. I highly recommend the gold because that is going to give you everything: the energetic calibration, the healing, the quantum activations, the slide lectures. We have a powerful event coming up, which I'll talk about in the end. But so let's say Sistara did not know about this. How would it impact her? It would just impact her with her ability to open up her throat chakra. Because we're seeing that she's severely restricted in her throat chakra. In fact, the other day she said to me, and many of you watching can relate, she's like, I don't have any opinion. And that's because I just listened to what my parents said, and I thought, okay, listening to people and doing what they ask of me is my highest service, to be an obedient little girl. And all of this is because of this moth-like being that's lodged here. So now the ear infection is just a way when it's ready to come out to the surface saying, hey, Sistara now has Eldora and Saman, they're a vibrational match, they can remove it. So now let's manifest an ear infection because boom, we can give Sistara
what
healing.
I actually saw happening is that because being around us and spending a lot of time together with us, Sistara, Nicole, and Merlin, their vibration is shooting through the roof on a daily basis. So this is a very normal thing that when your vibration starts shooting up, you become a vibrational mismatch for the entities that you've been carrying for maybe centuries or lifetimes.
They get exposed.
Yeah, they suddenly come to the surface, and suddenly, like Sistara's pain started, but for other people it may be like other kinds of symptoms. But you may become aware that something is off, and it's not physical, it's a spiritual thing. And after extracting these entities, after removing them and sending them back to the light and transmuting it and filling her whole light body up, and it's like psychic surgery, there is a whole process to like seal everything up and then shielding. After I did that, I still wasn't sure. I thought, okay, maybe the pain's so bad that she still needs to go see the doctor. The next morning, this morning, I texted her to check up on her, and she literally replied, the pain is gone. It's like fully gone. And like sometimes even I get shocked by how effective these healings can be, because it's truly a blessing. And I say this with all humility and reverence. It is the highest blessing that we have aligned with our soul's path to such a high degree, and we fully dedicated our life to serving this divine mission that the angels, archangels, higher dimensional beings of light are always working through us. And that is the biggest protection that we can suggest to people. So like Eldora was mentioning, if you're not a shaman, then what do? The biggest tip I can give you is educate yourself. Yes. Ignorance is not bliss in this circumstance. Once we walk the spiritual path, once we become aware of the light and the dark, we literally are opening a can of worms. And it's like, you would go to a foreign country, you would like get the lay of the land, right? The same goes for the spiritual path. When you're walking the spiritual path, you got to know that there's pitfalls, there's things you need to know.
And you need to become a warrior.
You need to educate yourself.
Yes.
And we're teaching this stuff. So if you're able to invest in your own spiritual education, it's going to drastically change your whole life trajectory. It's going to bring so much abundance. It's going to bring so much power. It's going to bring you so much self-confidence that you can actually deal with these things, that I cannot emphasize that enough.
And you know what the guides are telling me right now, baby? They're saying most people go to school on Earth to learn bullshit. They go to school and they put so much...
Bachelor's of Science is BS.
Bachelor's of Science, exactly. BSc. It's Bachelor's of Bullshit. You know what the guides are saying? Most people put so much emphasis. Humans put so much emphasis on all the wrong things. But you give them like a course for $88 or say, hey, join the New Earth Mystery School for something as peanuts as $88. They'll say, I don't know. Why? Because they're in cognitive dissonance. Their entities are constantly saying...
Entities can also like...
Yeah, they control you. They'll say, oh, you don't have time for this, or just listen to their YouTube videos.
Or you can't afford it.
You can't afford it.
While you're going to go drink alcohol in a bar and catch entities, you can afford that.
Or even a vacation. I say, invest in your spirituality above going on a vacation, because what's the point going on a vacation with all these entities that are holding you back? So I say this with all my love, guys, get on the New Earth Mystery School, because our mystery school is directly channeled through the Order of Melchizedek, the Sisterhood of the Rose. We're working with High Priest Melchizedek. We work with Isis. We work with Lord Sananda, who is Yeshua, Jesus, the ascended master version of Jesus. They are our primary guides. We've recently started working with Thought, and Siman, you want to tell them? So guys, mark the date. When is it?
27th.
27th of this month, which I believe is a Sunday.
Yeah.
We have a mega event coming. Siman's going to put up in a couple of days, it'll go up on our YouTube. When we were in Morocco, he had a merger with Thought. And right after the merger, he left a very emotional voice message to just us, the 12 of us in the Office of Christ. I wasn't even with him. And all of us felt the sheer power.
Oh my God.
And we're going to put up that voice message of what happened.
It was not just an experience. I actually had a soul walk-in merger with a higher, sixth-dimensional, higher aspect version of myself that connected with Thought. And I'm still going through that. Eldora will attest to how much intensity.
God.
It's like our whole life. You think we're making YouTube videos and we're normal. We literally, our whole life has been like a whirlwind because of the intensity of energy coming in. And it's been a lot to deal with, but it's also extremely powerful.
And
this soul merging,
rewarding.
because it increases your power, it increases your awareness. And Eldora has also been experiencing Thought directly. It's a very loving ascended master.
Beautiful frequency, and I feel like we're experiencing Thought in different ways. So Siman is experiencing Thought directly as a merger with a higher aspect of him.
Like as if I'm merging with Thought, an aspect of Thought.
So Siman currently, after the merger has been vibrating 6D frequencies, and I have a different role to play. So Siman is currently going through his very advanced initiations on the spiritual path. For example, one initiation that Thought just gave him a couple days ago is, he said, next summer solstice, we don't know when the date is, but we're guessing that it might be summer solstice.
I think it's summer solstice.
He might have to go to Mount Shasta and climb the Black Boot, where the Melchizedek energies are high, and you usually go there with invitation only. And he's being told that he's going to go up solo. I'm not even going to be on the trip with him. I'm not even going to fly to Mount Shasta with him. It has to be a solo initiation. He's going to climb up with a guide or alone, whatever. It's a very steep climb, by the way. It takes about 4 hours to climb. And once he's on top, he's going to receive the Melchizedek energy very powerfully. And once he comes back, I'm then going to join him. We're going to go up together. So he's going to be ordained as a high priest when he goes up. Then he's going to ordain me as a high priestess. Once that happens, we're being told that we're ready on our ascension path to then initiate our first set of initiates,
Physical initiates.
which we think is going to be the 3 children, because they are the highest vibrational frequency people we know. Initiations cannot happen until you are completely pure channels and your ego harmonization is done. Level 1 initiations can happen for every one of you. Actually, the guides are saying right now, level 1 to 3 initiations, every single one of you watching are a vibrational match to today. Because what are initiations? You receive this Melchizedek light, and all of this is coming for you guys, because many of you may think, okay, well, spirituality is just the law of attraction, really, because a lot of these spiritual teachers of the past who have made it big have literally been placed by the cabal to just make you think that, law of attraction is all there is to life. Guys, Siman and I are honestly getting our direct guidance from Yeshua, who is giving us the Magdalene codes, the Christed codes of all the keys there are for your ascension, for our ascension. And we're being told that we are we're going to be reviving a lot of the ancient Egypt and ancient Atlantean practices of, we don't know yet when these are going to start, but these physical initiations are starting, and and that can only happen when we become a complete pure channel of the divine. And I'm with all my integrity, purity, reverence for this whole process, I'm saying that we are almost there. Like, we are walking the ascended path. We're very close to it. And the guides are saying you guys are going to start seeing miracles soon in your life. And we actually are. Let me tell you a story. 2 days ago, so you know how we have a dance company called House of Ra. We work with a 6th dimensional entity called Ra, the Ra collective. The other day, a week ago, there was some wood in the fireplace. This is a true
Oh my
story,
God, yeah.
guys. It's going to blow your socks off. There was some wood in the fire. The previous night we had a fire and we went to sleep like we do every night. And at around 10 in the morning, Siman was DJing. He just started his DJ set and he was playing the House of Ra music that we're going to be playing at the House of Ra, the New Earth Music Festival happening in Croatia this New Year's Eve. And I have some important updates on that next. He played the music, and as soon as the music, like within 5 minutes, all of a sudden the fire started in the fireplace. I took a video and I sent it to the kids, and I'm like, guys.
It was literally like dormant logs from the night before, and there was not even a spark in them. As soon as the music started, and you may be wondering, what does DJing have to do with fire? It's because the way we DJ, the way we create the space, we're actually bringing in the raw energy, and we're bringing in very high frequency downloads and codes. And anytime I start playing the music, the whole frequency of the room changes. Instantly.
Whew.
And it's becoming so powerful after this thought merger that we're seeing like miracles.
Yes.
The whole fireplace, it's as if you turned on a button and the fire came on. And this happened once when
the next day.
No, this happened once before in Sedona.
Yeah.
During one of our sacred tantra sessions, and
Yes.
Sekhmet came in, and
Whew. The fireplace almost
exploded. Like and the next day the sage exploded on fire.
So you know how the fireplace incident happened like a week ago? The very next morning I was just burning fire. It wasn't this, it was just a smaller piece of fire.
Of sage.
I burnt the sage and the fire just got so big.
It was like an explosion.
I had to throw it.
Oh my God.
I had to throw it. I hope the Airbnb owners are not watching this. Trust me, we're super.
Everything was safe.
Everything is safe. Don't worry. We're like very responsible people. I threw it in the sink and poured water. And you know what the message we got was? That our light is becoming so powerful, and our heart and our field is becoming so crystalline and pure. Our service to the collective, our divine service, our intention, our unconditional love has reached such a high state of ascended being. We're almost walking the ascended mastery path. We're like in training. We're in ascended master training right now at a very high level.
We're training the ascended masters of tomorrow.
Yes, we are here. Our biggest soul mission is to train the ascended masters of tomorrow by showing all of you how it's done, by doing it ourselves. So we are living examples of what's coming for you. And so you know what Spirit said? You are now, Croatia was that portal into that timeline for us. The guide said, all of this fire is showing you that Spirit is working very closely with you. Spirit is very close to you, and we're seeing miracles, guys. Like
when you start working at this level, and we're telling you this because all of you are going to be doing these miracles. When you start working with Spirit at this level and you dedicate your path to the path of service, you can literally have the power to control all the elements and forces of nature. It's because you become a living embodiment of God, because your ego has stepped aside. So whatever God wants to channel through you, it becomes so. And thought is also a big part of this procedure, because thought is, since the merger with thought, both Eldora and I, our spiritual evolution has skyrocketed. I'm going to be going through at least 9 levels of initiations to become like a fully trained high priest by next solstice, which is like a huge tall order. It's not easy, and some of these initiations are not for the faint of heart. I'm telling you, I can't even go into the details of
level 1 to 3. I would say everybody can do with ease, because that's really teaching you about the emotional body. We're going to be teaching all of that in the New Earth Mystery School. Your emotional body, your physical body, how to control your anger, how to let out your anger, how to harmonize your spiritual field, how to heal your Markaba, how to activate your Markaba. All that we can teach you. But after level 3 is when your advanced initiation starts. 3 to 9 is where you really have to walk.
3 to 12.
3 to 12, you have to walk the sacred path. And that's when, and you know, it's very interesting. So Siman's going through these 60 initiations, and my role is to, it's kind of like the divine feminine, the divine masculine. So my role is to be that loving homemaker, to be that leader. Like I'm basically being told, while Siman's going through these intense initiations, you be the leader of Office of Christ. You drive the business forward. You be the main person for House of Ra. You drive all of that. So it's kind of like Siman's going through the masculine, where he's preparing the slides for thought. He's getting the downloads
and kind of like spearheading the direction of the organization, and she's acting more like the CEO. So we're both like working hand in hand, and it's not like Eldora is just a CEO.
Gosh.
She's also going through very intense initiations
but
at
it's
the same
fun.
time.
It's intense, but it's fun because remember what I always tell you guys. It's 44.44 as I say this. Remember what I say to you guys. Everything that is happening in your lives is not happening to you. The hardship is not happening to you. The heartbreak is not happening to you. You're not losing your job because something is being done to you. Everything that's happening in your life is happening for you. So Siman and I, the other day I was telling someone, as you walk your path of mastery, initially it feels very intense, right? It feels like your insecurities come up, your ego harmonization comes up, your abundance blocks comes up, your lack mentality, your victim mentality, all of this blows up in your face. Let me tell you this doesn't just stop in like, you don't just say, oh, it'll stop. We're still going through initiations, but let me tell you what changes. And this is the good news. So I would be lying to you if I said, oh, in 1 year, it'll all be gone. No, it's not the case. We're going through advanced initiations. It never stops. Jesus is still going through his initiations in the higher realms.
It just becomes easier to deal with though.
That's what I was going to say. You know what changes? Your perspective of this changes. So instead of saying this is all happening to me, poor me, poor me, poor me, you start, come a bit forward. You're like, I'm more in the light, I think. So what happens is you change your lens on it and you don't drown when these initiations happen. You don't drown when your ego harmonization comes up. You don't drown and say, oh my God, this is so hard. You take it in your stride. So your lens, your filter changes, and that's when you walk your path of mastery. Right. And that's the path that's lying right ahead of all of you guys.
Right. So on November 27th, Todd is going to be channeling the 7 Hermetic Principles, which we're going to be teaching in the New Earth Mystery School for Gold members. And the event's going
to be our best event yet, is how I feel.
Super excited, and I've already started like preparing for the event, and I'm seeing what it looks like, and it's super powerful. So what are the 7 Hermetic Principles? It's like the principle of mentalism, that all is mind, and it means you can control your environment if you change your mind and way of thinking. Then there's law of correspondence, which means as above, so below. Like every freaking spiritual circle I know throws as above, so below, but nobody actually knows what it means. So we're going to actually go into the quantum physics science of what it actually means
in
and how you can...
In a super easy to understand way.
That's our whole game.
That's our superpower.
That's our service.
And that's our superpower.
Yeah.
You know what our superpower is?
Focus on how to apply these principles in your daily life.
And how to simplify it for you guys.
And how to simplify it in a way that's easy to chew, digest, and understand.
Like Siman is going through some very advanced thought material because thought has given him some very, very cryptic material.
Yeah, we have to decode like cryptic,
you can understand
old ancient texts and make it make sense in this modern world.
And you're doing an amazing job. Yeah. So at the event, we're going to decode it and dissect it for you in a way that's bite-sized pieces.
Yeah.
And directly use it in your lives. What else?
Yeah, there's a law of vibration, like how your vibe attracts everything towards you. And I haven't memorized all 7 principles, but
and at the end,
they're very potent.
Yes, and at the end, this is the part I'm so excited about. At the end of the event, we're going to be doing an activation. We have not yet received the full activation download yet from Thought, but it's coming. We've been asked to prepare to create a 30-minute activation. It's going to be powerful as fuck. And it's going to activate your Egyptian light codes. It's going to activate. And how is that going to help them?
So basically, once you receive these activations and downloads from Egypt, it activates a certain part of your DNA. Because we were all, if you're watching this video and if you're incarnated on earth right now, and if you're walking your spiritual path, then there's an 80% chance you were incarnated in Egypt and Atlantis, because we're all here on a multiple lifetime mission. So even if you were not there, let's say, these activations will help you amalgamate with all the previous lifetimes and all the wisdoms, all the mastery and all the lessons that we've learned from ancient times, and activate that mastery within the now moment. So it's like a kind of 0-point harmonization where you recall all the past lifetimes that you walked as a master, and you bring those gifts and abilities in a very super potent way. Oof. And activate them in this lifetime.
And who is this for? Who are these activations for? Every single one of you watching. And I'll tell you why.
If you woke up yesterday, you can still benefit.
If you woke up 30 years ago, and that's kind of the activations we bring. We're bringing very advanced activations and healings in a very bite-sized pieces, because that's our service. That's our superpower. We're not here to look good and gloat about how good we are. We're literally here to help you ascend. That's our only intention. That's our only... We could have done a million things with our lives, guys, because we have had very successful businesses in the past, and money comes easy to us because we're always abundant.
Because we know the laws.
We know the laws. Money is so easy for us. Abundance is easy.
We can do anything and make money, but we choose to do this for our service.
Because this is our highest joy.
Yeah.
And for those of you who are new to our channel, you know, so this is, you have to go back a lot of videos, because we've literally been showing you our journey over the past 2 years since we've started our YouTube video of how we're ascending ourselves. That's why we're doing our YouTube. We're showing you guys how we're ascending, how we're letting go of the density, how we're letting go of our toxic relationships, how we're using these laws to manifest the desire we speak. We're currently living in a multi-million-dollar mansion overlooking the ocean, supported by Yeshua, supported, like, we are fully funded by the office of Christ in the higher realms. We are fully supported, like, we have the highest guidance, the highest support of the Sirius Lions, the Royal Guard of Sirius, the office of Christ, the order of Melchizedek. We have so much guidance. You know what they said to us? So you know how when what's her name? Whitney Houston, she goes and performs in the Bodyguard movie. She has a bodyguard, right? A 3D bodyguard cannot protect us. The only freaking power that can protect us for the kind of light work that we are doing on this planet and the kind of impact that we are having, and for the humongous soul mission that we, Saman and I, have incarnated on this planet for in this now moment, requires galactic protection. So we have, of course, Ashtar and all the spaceships, but about a year ago, we were gifted with the highest form of protection. We were gifted with the Royal Lions of Sirius, the Royal Guard of Sirius. And we've done an in-depth activation called the 222 Sirius B portal activation. It's also on our website, eldoransaman.love. It was a 2-day event where we taught people what is the Markaba, what is the light body, and why is it so important. And then Saman did a proper healing where he healed all the crystals of the light body. And then the second day, when everything was healed, we activated the light body. Guys, we have received over 1,000 emails, comments, messages about the power of this activation. People are talking about it till today. Anybody in our soul family, this is a word, you know, Drunvalo Melchizedek, he taught the who I have a lot of respect for. He taught the masculine way of Markaba work in his age. He's almost 90, maybe 85 years old now. We're doing the 2.0 version of what the legendary Drunvalo Melchizedek left. We're teaching the feminine ways of activating, which are easier, super easy, potent, and available for the modern day. Do you know what I mean? So and Markaba is instant manifestation. So in our vortex, our soul family is flying because they're all doing these courses. They're keeping up. So there's 2 timelines I'm seeing in our soul family. One of people who are stuck in abundance blocks. I can't afford it, whatever. It's the story they've built in their head. Or I don't need it. And then there's this other timeline of people who are flying in front of our eyes. People who came to Tulum, remember the stories? Yeah. They're like, we came to your event in Tulum and now we're like living a totally different life. We got offered $400,000 for our business. I had a divorce with my husband. I couldn't stand my marriage and I didn't even know it. I'm now divorced. And now I'm also dating someone else who I met in Tulum, and we're like moving literally to, let's say, somewhere else, and we're starting a new life and we're starting our healing business. And we're hearing this every single week. We're getting these kind of testimonials. So why am I sharing this with all of you guys? With all my sincerity, I'm telling you guys, make ascension your top priority in life. Let go of everything else and make ascension your
Especially
top.
In these times, guys, the old matrix is crumbling. Yes. And the old ways of doing things are no longer going to be powered up. If you are just hopping from one job to another, one relationship to another, you're going to hit a dead-end wall very soon. Did you want to talk anything more about entities and how do you know if you're under psychic attack?
Why don't you tell them the one easy tip we're going to give you? We're going to go in depth in the New Earth Music Festival. Thank you for reminding me.
Yeah.
So in the New Earth Music Festival, today I received a download when we decided to make this video. The guides actually said, make this video and immediately do a psychic protection masterclass event in NEMS where you not only give a psychic and implant removal, and we're going to touch on implants in a second, give them a full-fledged facilitated healing, which we are experts on. We are masters in this topic. We're going to do a full-fledged implant removal and psychic entity removal on you guys. You just have to lie down and receive. It'll probably be a 1 hour healing and activation. But before that, we're going to teach you with slides. It's a very, very, very exciting masterclass, interesting masterclass of how entities come in, what you can do, how you can protect your home, how you can protect your car, how entities work. So it's coming in January, but check out the Mystery School and most importantly, become a member, because every 2 weeks, you're going to be hit with like something amazing. Like look at our lineup. Tomorrow we have an Ascension Q&A and live coaching where we're going to bring in your guides, November 19th. It's a silver event. 10 days later, or not even, on the 27th of this month, we're doing the Thought event. Right after that, in January, most likely we're going to do the Psychic Protection Masterclass. Right after that, we're probably going to bring in an international bookseller to do a 2023 live predictions channel, because he's a very, very pure channel and I've worked with him in the past. It's like back to back. So put this as your top priority. And Saman, maybe you can share that crystal technique.
So I wanted to leave people with one technique that is very potent in case you come under entity attack, and it doesn't matter what the reason is. You'll first know that you're in an entity attack if you're feeling drained of energy, if you're feeling irritable, if you're feeling like you're over responding to with negative emotions. So all of these are sure shot signs that you need to scan your body and see if you're under entity attack. The best approach I would recommend is if you know a healer who does this for you. We don't offer one-on-one healings, but our group healings in New Earth Mystery School are definitely going to help if you are under entity attack.
Yes.
However, if you know a healer who does this work and you can look them up, that's great.
And I don't know of a healer. Honestly, if I knew of one, I would recommend.
We are not able to recommend anyone.
We know some healers, but they're not of the caliber we want. And I would love to know of some powerful healers that are not in their ego, that are in their heart, because I will recommend them to all of you. In fact, that's my Markaba. Please bring me these healers that I can recommend.
Our whole fundamental basis is to share our knowledge as openly as possible. However, if you don't know a healer, then there's a procedure you can do on yourself. So first of all, you have to isolate yourself. You have to go into a safe space, into a room where you will not be disturbed. And you can stand and do the first procedure because you need to check all of your chakras with the pendulum. I wish I had a pendulum, but I don't. Here. But basically, any pendulum will do. You can make a makeshift pendulum with like a piece of string with any weight attached, and you're holding the pendulum, and you can check the vibration of each of your chakras. So holding the pendulum, first of all, you ground yourself, because a pendulum does not work properly if you're not fully grounded. You'll get like erratic information from it. So we've taught the grounding procedure, but basically you send your grounding cord down to the core of Mother Earth. You pull up golden energy and you fill your whole aura with this golden energy. Then you connect with your higher self, because you want to make sure that there's no entity interference while you're under attack to even prevent your healing. So you send a cord of light up from the top of your crown and connect with your higher self and tell your higher self, take this cord of light and take it directly to Source Prime Creator. So there's no more negative interference. Once you have a connection with Source Prime Creator, you immediately ask Archangel Michael or your favorite protective angel to come down and overshadow you with their Merkaba. I love Metatron because he's so powerful, he's so fatherly, and he's so protective. So I asked Archangel Metatron to lower his Merkaba into my field and create a protective field around me and start spinning that Merkaba at 9/10 the speed of light. So you say, Archangel Metatron, please lower your Merkaba, surround my aura with it, and start spinning this Merkaba at 9/10 the speed of light. Then you say, Merkaba, please make me invisible, undetectable, and unreachable to any frequencies less than love. And this is very powerful. Merkaba healing is extremely powerful. So once you activate this Merkaba, I'm saying use Archangel Metatron's Merkaba because you're compromised. So your Merkaba will not be working. So in this case, you ask for Archangel Metatron's Merkaba and it creates a protective field around you. Now you know that at least there's a safe space that you can start working with. Then you ask your pendulum to show you a clear yes. It'll usually spin clockwise. and then you say, please show me a clear no. It'll spin anti-clockwise. And then you go chakra by chakra. You say, pendulum, please show me if there are any entities, implants, or devices that need to be removed from my crown chakra. And if it's a yes, then you know, you just jot it down on a notebook that I need to address my crown chakra. And then you go chakra by chakra in all 7 chakras. You go from the crown, you go to your third eye, you go to your throat, you go to your heart, you go to your solar plexus, you go to your sacral, and look it up on Google. All these chakras are clearly mapped out. So you should know where all your chakras are by now, at least your 7 basic chakras. And once you douse for each chakra and you note down on your notebook, okay, chakra number, my crown chakra is compromised, my throat is compromised, and my solar plexus is compromised, then you know what you have to focus on.
And one thing I'd like to add is, instead of saying what chakras have implants, because you might get yes for everything, I would almost reword it to, what chakras am I being asked to work on today?
Yeah, correct.
Then what they'll do is they'll say, okay, you have 7 chakras, and most likely they'll only give you 3 chakras. Usually the maximum they'll give you is 3 chakras to work with.
Yeah.
Because that's easier. And let's say next week you're having something totally different. Then you will be given 3 different chakras or the same chakras. So always ask specifically, what chakras am I being asked to work on today? And then it'll give you a yes and no for each of the chakras. And then let's say you're given 3 chakras as a yes. Then you can go into what he's talking about. Like, are there entities in this chakra? Are there implants in this chakra?
Yeah, exactly. So now at this point, you would know which chakras you're going to be working with for the entity removal. And the next step you do is you lie down on the bed and you go to, let's say if the first one was your crown chakra, you will need a quartz crystal for this procedure. So any quartz crystal, like finger size, it doesn't have to be super polished.
It could be this size,
shaped.
really,
it
even
can be
smaller.
A raw, but it kind of like shaped like a wand. Those are usually the best. So you take this quartz crystal and point it towards your crown chakra. Oh, that's a freaking mega quartz crystal. That's
mine.
Aldora's new Archangel Michael 88-sided Vogel.
And guess what? This is the most powerful Vogel I've ever seen. It's got 8 gates, 8 gates, 8, 8. So it's 8, 8, 8. It's literally got ribs. And it has Archangel Michael's energy. And guess what? She is the most powerful thing I have ever met in my life. Yeah. She's been giving me healings like crazy. And she even told me her name is Oren.
Yeah.
Like Lauren without an L. But anyway, continue.
Yeah. So let's say you have any raw crystal. I'm going to use this as an example. You point it towards your crown chakra and you say, Archangel Michael, I need your assistance to capture any entities, implants, or devices within my crown chakra. Then you close your eyes and then you breathe out 7 times. But imagine you're breathing the energy out from your crown into the crystal. So you close your eyes and with force, you can say, you can do fire breathing like, my nose is blocked, so I'll use my mouth.
Actually, mouth is even better.
Yeah, mouth works fine.
Both work fine.
Yeah, so you do that 7 times, and basically with 7 times, you can be sure that the entity is now trapped in the crystal. Then you point the crystal up towards the light and say, Archangel Michael, please transmute any negative energies and entities or implants in this crystal and transmute them into the light. And it completely clears the crystal. And then you go so on and so forth into all the other chakras that are affected. You can just clear all the chakras if you want.
And do it every day. Do it every week.
Yeah.
We're constantly clearing ourselves. Yesterday I had a Zoom call with somebody, and after most people, so this is another thing that's coming in. Most people, like, you know how you guys, many of you are saying we go in 3D and it's so intense for us. Guys, this is where it gets really interesting. What if your higher self said to you that you're very intense for them? Because what we're finding as our consciousness goes up is that 4D people are intense for us. They cannot even see their own blind spots. They cannot see where they're in ungratitude. They cannot even see any of this. But speaking to people, even on Zoom, is frying our system. Why? Because it's not a vibrational match. We're vibrating very high right now. So we clear ourselves every single day, and you're being asked to clear. Because when you go out in the 3D, you know how you come back and you have this astral pollution around you? Use this technique every day. Go chakra by chakra and go, or just take the crystal and literally rotate it anti-clockwise and instruct the crystal. Say, as I do this, I expel all negativity that I've picked up from others, from the mall, from anywhere, from driving, from my busy day. Go and then do it, and literally you'll feel all this energy leaving and going into the crystal. So we're clearing ourselves every day. That's the only way we can do this divine work.
And once this procedure is over, you have to create a very powerful shield around you. And one of the most powerful shielding that we can teach, and we'll do this in more detail in the New Earth Mystery School, but I can give you a high level overview, is 12D shielding. So you activate like a Merkaba. You say imagine like a 6-inch wide Merkaba, and you activate it right above your head, like in your soul star, and you say Merkaba activate, and start spinning at 9/10 the speed of light, and say, I'm setting the intention to activate my 12D shield of light. So you visualize this Merkaba spinning now at 9/10 the speed of light. It's creating a very harmonious light frequency, and you start bringing it down through all your chakras. So this is after you've cleared yourself, you're creating a protective field around you. So you bring it down, 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 down through all your chakras, out through your root, and send it down into the ground. And send it down your grounding cord. While it's going down, it's also clearing entities and attachments from your grounding cord, and it's completely cleansing your grounding cord. So there's no chance of interference.
I'm even feeling it as you're saying it.
Exactly. We'll do this properly later.
So in the psychic protection course that we're going to do, let's remember to do a full-fledged 12D shielding. I'm going to write this
12D
down.
12D shielding is must right now, because this is the most powerful shielding I know. You send it down to the core of Earth, and you instruct this Merkaba. Now it's gone down your grounding cord, it's gone through all the layers, and it's gone to the center of the Earth. And it's spinning in the very center nucleus point of the Earth. And you start telling this Merkaba, collect all the 12D frequencies of Earth and bring them back up to me. So it's spinning, 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 collecting all these 12 dimensional frequencies and source codes. And then when you know that it's been filled up fully, you bring it back and you lower it to like 1 foot below your feet in your Earth Star chakra. And you bring it back to 1 foot below your feet, and you say expand, and it creates like a platform, like a circular platform, like you're standing in a circular elevator. And this platform is like a 12D light disc. It's like a 12D disc of light that starts forming under your feet, and it's about 6 feet wide in diameter. So a 6 feet wide 12D platform of light forms in the base of your feet. And then you instruct it to start, the Merkaba starts pulling it up. So you instruct your Merkaba to start pulling this up, back up your grounding cord and through all your chakras. And as it's doing so, the disc is coming up, and it's creating a cylinder of 12D light all around you. And you send it back to about 6 inches or 1 foot above your head. And you're completely enclosed in this cylinder of 12D light. And this is one of the most powerful protective shields that I can teach.
And for those of you watching who are like, oh my God, that's so intense, I don't know, I didn't get it, or I don't know how to do it, don't worry. We're going to do it for you, so that even if for those of you who are like freaking out right now, like I want to do all of that, but we just glanced on it very quickly, we're going to do it for you. We're going to
We're going to break it down even with diagrams.
Absolutely. So don't go into that frequency of I didn't get it, or I like calm, like your system needs to be calm. That calmness is what's going to attract everything you desire. So don't go into I didn't get that, I didn't understand that, shit, I should write this down. Don't go into that fragmented feeling.
I love that you said that.
Okay guys, so we are going to end very soon, and we have such an exciting update. We are in Croatia right now. We're planning the New Earth Mystery School. What am I saying? New Earth Music Festival by House of Ra.
Too many brands.
And guys, here's an update. We didn't know why we were asked to come to Croatia. We had no clue. We hadn't even heard of Croatia. I hadn't. And I'm like, why Croatia? Like, there must be someplace better. Like, I haven't even heard of it. It's not my vibe.
It wasn't even in our consciousness.
I'm more like a beach kind of girl. And so we just got to know why we are here, guys. And our guides are saying one day you're going to write a book about it. So Earth, you know how we talked about our own, like we talked about chakra blockages, chakra implants, and we didn't get to cover implants today, but we will in a future, because it's a very wide topic. So Earth, just like we have chakra blockages, Divine Mother Gaia, Earth, also has a blockage right now in the ley lines. And there is a massive blockage in Dubrovnik, Croatia, where we are. And that's why we're doing it in this city and not in Split, not in Zagreb, where it's half the price to do any of these events. Dubrovnik is the most expensive place, but we were guided to come here. And what it is that Earth's Kundalini needs to fully gush out of her. Earth's Kundalini is rising, Earth's Kundalini is rising, Earth's Kundalini is rising. And just like our Kundalini is rising, our Kundalini is rising. And we and Mother Earth are very closely connected to each other.
Explain what the Kundalini is, because not everyone's aware of it.
The Kundalini is this life force energy. It's the creation energy that stems from the base of your spine, literally.
Yeah.
It's creation energy. It's the most powerful manifestation energy we have ever experienced. And a lot of like sacred tantra, we practice sacred tantra, which we're not going to get into in this video, but that really gives us this potent Kundalini energy that rises from the base of our spine and it gushes out of our head and it circles back into our heart. So this is a very powerful life force energy, and many of you will do another one actually about Kundalini awakening. Maybe make a note of that.
For sure.
We'll do another one about Kundalini awakening. But Earth right now is having a blockage in her grids in here. Why? Because there was a lot of war in this land. The people, the men especially here, are very blocked off from their heart chakra. Their heart chakra is completely closed. They literally don't know it, but they don't show emotions. People are even saying to us, they're like, you're so lighthearted people. And women are telling us, they're like, we in Dubrovnik, we're taught not to laugh too loud. We're taught not to be silly. We're taught not to play. And all of this is creating a blockage because the people here are just a reflection of the earth grid here. So we at the New Earth Music Festival are going to raise the vibration, of the festival, of the audience members coming in so high. Light workers are flying in from all over the world. Children are coming, starseed children, 7 years and up. We have at least 6 children right now, or 10 children I think right now, and their frequency, guys, they are our teachers. Like, we are our teachers, but we are the teachers to serve these children. Let me put it this way.
They're the teachers of tomorrow.
Yes, we're here to prepare the children. That's something that really, really excites. It's 1 hour, 11 minutes as I say that, the crap out of us. So at the New Earth Festival, what we do is that we raise the vibration. We do healings, we do activations, there's yoga, there's wellness.
Crystals.
We do crystal healing. We charge these crystals. There's heart connection, there's love, there's bonding, there's dance, there's all kinds of things. And I'll talk about the workshops in just a second. But what is happening this year in Croatia is we're entering 2023 into one of the most powerful timeline jumps there has ever been for humanity, is what we're being shown. The energy of this is huge. It's for those of you who came to Tulum and thought, wow, how are they ever going to top Tulum? We thought that too. This is already feeling like a different octave. It's a different octave from Tulum. Literally, it's like, so I'll get into that in a second. So we raise the vibration. We're doing a Christ consciousness activation and all of that. We raise the vibration, and on the 5th day, there's a merger that happens. We have taken you guys up to 5D frequencies where the angels can lower their energies and physically become a match to touching us, healing us, feeling us, instant healings. It's like a handshake from earth and heavens, which we do in all our events, which is the most powerful thing that we have ever experienced. We've had massive instant healings, magical instant healings at all our events. And we're actually going to be putting up the highlight video of Tulum soon, which we haven't yet released so far. It's a 15-minute highlight video. Make sure you watch it. It's going to come out within the next week on this channel. It's going to blow your minds. You'll see the magic and the instant healings that people have experienced that have changed their lives.
When we did this exercise about meeting the heaven and earth and meeting the angels, when we did this in Costa Rica in one of our retreat with 20 people, one lady, she had such a powerful experience. Like, when we were rising the energy up through all the chakras, she literally was like lifted off her chair. She couldn't like sit on the base of her seat. She was lifted off, and everyone was holding her hands on both sides, and her partners on both sides pulled her down. And as they pulled her down, it created such a powerful chain reaction in her womb, in her sacral and abdomen, that literally I saw in that moment in my psychic vision that she released like a ball of energy this big from her womb, and it went into the earth.
And the doulas came in.
Yeah, the doulas, there were these sacred
Angelic.
doulas, these angelic beings that sometimes come into our events, and they hold bags as if they're about to bag this energy that's about to release. And these doulas literally bagged that big ball of energy that she released and sent it to the light to be transmuted. And we didn't know anything about this lady. We didn't know her history. We didn't know what this was about. And we later found out that this lady was carrying ovarian cysts.
The big ones.
Like tumorous cysts, and there were lots of them in her womb. And she was going through a lot of therapy. She was going for all these doctor's appointments and whatnot. And she wrote us a letter like a month or two after.
And a year, like a few letters.
Yeah, a few follow-ups later. She literally told us, like 2 months after this retreat, after this incident, she wrote to us and she said, "You will not believe what happened. I was carrying these ovarian cysts and tumors in my belly. They were like all over. And my doctor just did a CAT scan, my regular checkup, and he said, they're all gone. They're gone. They're vanished." And she was like, 2 months into this event, she still wasn't sure. 6 months later, she was getting very sure. 1 year later, she's like 100 pounds lighter.
Yeah, she's a different
person. She's lost like 100 pounds. She's like different person. She's fully healed and she's like channeling the light. It's very, very powerful.
And in the highlight video we're going to put up, and for any of you who actually want to go get a taste of what we're talking about, there's actually a highlight video on this channel. It's called, I think, Shift into 5D Costa Rica Retreat. It's a little highlight video. You'll see the girl. You'll see she's crying. She's a black girl.
I think we even have a clip of this incident. Kind of.
In that video, so you can look at it. And in the highlight video coming up of Tulum, my soul daughter, our soul daughter Nicole, who was actually our daughter in ancient Egypt when we were Akhenaten and Nefertiti, that was our, basically we're here to take off from where we left off in the Akhenaten Nefertiti timelines.
That was 1000 BC.
Yes, and Nicole, her mom went through the exact same process where doulas came in and she's literally sitting in front of Siman and I'm behind her and she's
literally
screaming.
Gave like a spiritual birth and she released the whole baggage.
And her life has completely changed since Tulum. Completely. Like, I know the details because she's Nicole's mom and I get the insight. So guys, let us tell you about the energetic blockage. And for any of you coming, you are literally going to be rewarded as emissaries of the light who are flying in, who are booking your tickets. Getting to Dubrovnik is not easy. You need 2 flights to get here, maybe even 3, I'm not sure. But guess what? The guides are saying it's not a beach like, oh, let's go have some fun in the beach in Tulum kind of vibe. This event is attracting the most pious souls who are not here just for the fun and the margaritas.
Of course, there will be a lot of fun.
It's going to be all fun, but it's attracting the most pure frequency people who are actually saying we're here to heal, we're here to grow.
And we're here to serve.
We're here to serve. So guys, if this resonates for you, come. This is a big hotel, so we have lots of spots. That's the good news. As of December, I think there's a date set, December 1st. The price goes up. Early bird tickets end, so get your tickets before then. And this is going to quantum shift your life in every way possible. More love, more joy, more happiness, more healed version. Density, leaving the matrix.
People literally, like Nicole was saying, her experience after going back from Tulum, literally she was walking through the airport and she's feeling like I'm in a different dimension and I'm looking at the third dimension from a different perspective. It's like, it's going to change your perspective on life.
And many people have met their soulmate, their twin flame at House of Ra at our New Earth Music Festival events. And I know at least 4 couples who are still in the relationship, and many people who come are like, so guys, please come. We have so many women.
Guys.
We need more divine
masculines.
For sure. So let me give you a sneak peek of what we're doing in Croatia and then we'll wrap up. So this year, you know how it's over the New Year's Eve? We're entering in a very powerful portal. We're entering New Year's Eve. We are going to be DJing. So Rothschild and Simandra are actually going to be DJing this year as Nefertiti and Akhenaten.
Yeah, we have our Egyptian costume set up already.
Yes, it's going to be an Egypt Atlantis dance party. We're going to, right at midnight, turn off all the music and enter New Year's Eve in complete sacred silence, surrounded by angels, surrounded by ascended masters, surrounded by all our guides, surrounded by all the magical healings, activations, and the love that we can possibly imagine, we can't even comprehend with our human mind. So let me give you a quick rundown of what we're doing, guys. And our soul family is one of the most pure-hearted, loving, fun-loving. We only want those guys in our festivals. We don't want egos because we are not a vibrational match to ego. So the people who come to our festivals are so lighthearted, rooted in gratitude. Our chat in Croatia is already, people are like, let's go for a walk when we meet. Let's do this. Let's share a room.
And people who come to these events come with reverence, humility, love, and respect. And that's what we mean by vibrational match to this
because they
frequency.
see the power of this container. Okay, so because it's over Christmas and New Year's, which of course is so 3D for us, right? Like us walking our path, we're going to do, instead of Secret Santa, we came up with this brilliant idea. Have you guys heard of the Ascended Master Sanat Kumara? He is the father, divine father.
He's the father of fathers. He's called the Ancient of Days in the heavens.
Sanat Kumara is like...
He's like, oh my God. Just speaking his name is like, makes me mushy.
Yes. So instead of Secret Santa, we're doing Secret Sanat Kumara.
Santa Kumara.
Oh yes, Secret Santa Kumara, and we're doing like a gift exchange where
No offense, Sanat Kumara.
No, he loves it. So Santa Kumara is, we're going to be doing a gift exchange where everyone's buying a gift for $50, all our soul family, and we'll be exchanging gifts.
And then, I don't want to spoil the fun.
Oh yes, we have a surprise. And then we're going to be doing a tribal ecstatic dance with DJ Esta, who's flying in all the way from Goa, India. We're flying her in. She's amazing. We're doing a tribal ecstatic dance journey. Saman and I are going to be facilitating a powerful...
She's European. She's stationed in India right now.
Saman and I are going to be facilitating an angelic ceremony where we're going to be setting the space. This is going to be on the second day of the event, where we call in the angels, we call in the ancestors, we call in all the land spirits, and that sets the tone of the entire event. Myself and my beautiful soul daughter, so Nicole and I, are going to be hosting our first workshop together, Embrace Your Inner Goddess, which was a channeled workshop that was downloaded into me a few weeks ago. Saman channeled the name. I was like, what do we call my workshop? And I had Embody Your Goddess and Saman, Embody the Goddess, and Saman's like, Embrace Your Inner Goddess. And I'm like, yes, that's the one. That's the one. So we're going to be doing that. It's a full-fledged shadow workshop journey. And I've been shown that this is going to become a thing, meaning we're going to be doing it all over the world, in venues all over the world in the next few years. And it's going to become its own program. We are, Saman is actually hosting a Rise of the Divine Masculine Sacred Circle, so guys, get ready, you're in for a treat. We have a Free Your Authentic Voice workshop with Avi, who's coming in all the way from Goa. We're flying him in. Avi is also going to be facilitating a beautiful, intimate concert for all of us, where we're all going to just sing, and he's going to perform for us. And as I said, we have the New Year's Eve 2023 dance party where Akhenaten and Nefertiti are in the house.
That's a costume dance party with the Egypt Atlantis theme.
So get your goddess costumes ready, guys. Get your Egyptian costumes ready. And in that, so on New Year's Eve this year at the party, we're going to be, Saman and I are going to be doing a soul retrieval and some kind of an Egyptian activation, which we have not yet received. We're super excited because we feel the power of it already. We have a Born for More healing activation and integration workshop. We have, Saman and I are going to be doing a quantum metatronic healing, Christ consciousness activation. We're doing lots of things, channeled ascension coaching. We have inner child healing. We have a whole bunch of things we haven't even put in here because we don't want to ruin all the fun. Esta is also going to be leading a trance dance, you guys. And she says, I've never experienced this. And she says, Eldora, you're in for a treat, because in Goa, this is our new thing, trance dance. So it's all going to be sober. House of Ra events are 100% sober. And I mean
very strict about that.
If you actually are not sober, you'll be asked to leave. And I'll tell you why, because the angelic frequencies are so high in this container that it has to be sober. We have no bias to you drinking wine or having the occasional joint of weed. We have no bias, but at our events, it's 100% sober.
And that makes our container so powerful that people have shifts as if they're in an ayahuasca ceremony, literally.
Not even ayahuasca ceremony.
It's higher than that.
They have shifts like they've just gone into a spaceship and gone into a med bed and received healing.
Totally.
It's the most powerful thing I've ever experienced.
You don't need any substances.
And I'm so excited for this. We have an Arcturian mothership dance party with Adam, our good friend, who is an Arcturian walk-in. We are going to blow this party up, you guys. It's going to be fully, so bring your ET costumes. We're thinking of having some face and body painters to give you the ET vibes. But for any of you guys who are already artists, come and help us paint. Be creative. What ET, like what kind of an extraterrestrial would you like to be that day? So be creative, get some costumes. There's tons of accessories on the internet.
I can already see all the Star Wars and Star Trek nerdy fans getting some ideas.
Ooh, some Princess Leia's maybe?
Yeah, some Jedis.
Yes. And what else? We have an abundant and blissed workshop by the most gorgeous souls. They are our soul family. They were in Tulum and I fell in love with them. They're going to be leading Lauren and Lauren. We love you guys. And then what else? And guys, this is just a taste. Our program is not final yet. So we'll see you in Croatia. Tickets are available at houseofra.com. So www.houseofra.com. We're so excited to see you.
And if you guys are struggling financially, write to us. We'll definitely help you out. Our whole intention is to do light work, and we're here to be very inclusive. We're here to make this work for you guys. So a little bit of investment is required from your part for the energy exchange. But if you need some help, just write to info@houseofra.com, and we'll definitely consider it on a case-by-case basis. But we're very open-hearted. We're very welcoming, and we want, if your intention, if your heart is in the right place, if you feel like you're here for joining with Soul Family to do important light work, then we want you there.
Yes. So info@houseofra.com. Write to us and literally put it on the top, say, seeking a discount to the festival, and tell us why you'd like a discount. And we will happily give it to you.
But don't do it just because you want to save a few bucks here and there. If you can afford it, then we definitely recommend don't ask for a discount, because you may be robbing someone else of the opportunity, because we're not going to give it to everyone. We have limited spots for these discounts. So only write to us if you truly feel you need to be there and you're deserving and you need some assistance.
And guys, for those of you who can afford it, think about it. You coming to the festival and putting down that deposit for 1888 is you giving the universe a signal that I am worth it. My ascension is my top priority. I am here to ascend. Above everything else, I am here to ascend because I see the rewards. I see the rainbow. I see the golden rainbow at the end of the tunnel. And that is going to be my biggest gift to myself. And in doing that, I'm here giving the universe my biggest divine service. And I'm walking this path as the light warrior, the child of God, the ascension agent, the planetary guardian that I am. So by doing these things, guys, you're actually activating things that you're not even aware of yet. We love you so much, Soul Family.
We love you so much.
We love you. Sending you so much love.
And we cannot wait to celebrate with you. Oh, by the way, all of these events will be aired live
Not
as
all.
well. Yeah, some of them. Some of the highlights.
We're going to air some of the dance parties live. So any of you who cannot make it, we're going to be doing a live stream just like we did Tulum. We're going to do the angelic ceremony, because our guides are telling us what needs to be aired live, because our intention is to raise the vibration of the planet. So anything that's like Christ, like any of these angelic ceremonies and stuff, 100%. Our dance party, the Arcturian dance party, we're all airing it all live for free. So even if you cannot come, don't be disheartened. You can party with us. You can be with us in spirit. We love you so much. We love you so much. You're doing so well. Keep going, keep going. There is so much magic waiting for you. Our lives are a testament to how much magic. We've left the most dense 3D jobs, the most narcissistic 3D relationships, the marriages. We've done the work, you guys, and we are living our heaven on earth right now.
And we can't wait to meet you in heaven on earth.
Yes, and we're going to have lots of soul family fun, which we didn't do in Tulum, but this time the kids are organizing a lot of, like the children, we're doing a lot of soul family fun, pajama parties, late nights. So it's not just going to be...
Lots of surprises.
Yes, we love you guys. See you soon.
Until next time.